Before we get our hands dirty with the new homestead, we wanted to take you back to where it all began and reflect on our very first homestead and the first 3 to 4 years that it took us to get from absolute beginners with no knowledge of homesteading, growing gardens or raising animals, preserving or anything else to somewhat knowledgeable in the area. If you haven't been tuning into the new videos and the announcements I've been making, 4 years ago we actually moved onto a homestead just down the hill from where our new spot is going to be. We were actually renting out this property for those 4 years, so it wasn't land that we owned ourselves, but we had full autonomy and permission to do what we wanted on the homestead in reason, making sure that it was temporary and could be removed at the end. So of course we raised chickens and pigs, sheep, bees. We had a menagerie of animals as well as plenty of gardens that we started from scratch on the homestead. This is going to be a film length video, so definitely grab a cup of tea and a snack, or even just pop some earphones in your ears as you walk around your garden and listen to where it all began. In June of 2020, Sam actually moved up to New South Wales by himself, while I had to stay down in Melbourne for the next 6 months to finish off my teaching contract. We figured that the 6 months would go by really easily because we could just visit each other week by week on the weekends and our days off, but it turned out that the outbreak had other outcomes for us, and the borders actually ended up closing between us and we didn't see one another for 6 months. While this was amazing for personal growth and actually bonded us and made our relationship even stronger when we came together, it was also a really tough time because it meant Sam was left by himself in New South Wales to establish us, and I was left by myself coping and living and moving house several times without the help of my partner. And that is where the story begins, up in New South Wales with Sam once he secured the homestead.
It has been about 2 months since I moved to New South Wales and settled down here. A lot has happened. One huge thing that I wanted to start this video off with is this. I have a home now. Diane and I have a home in New South Wales.
Even though we were moving towards living simply, things were not so simple from the beginning.
I went and checked out a whole bunch of properties, even though we're not really in a position to be able to, signing ourselves onto one just yet. I had to find a job. I had to find a rental, which is where I'm sitting right now, which is just absolutely beautiful. It's 24 acres in the hills in the area that we want to be living in. It's really exciting.
Once the borders opened up, we finally had the chance to move all of the furniture up to Sam, and the reunion was very emotional. And Sam is due to come any minute now. After some catching up, we got to work. Then you gotta tap it on the button and send it up. Alright you guys, that is it. We are all packed up and we are heading up to New South Wales. The dogs can't wait, we can't wait. We still have a bit to pack away. Sammy's cooking us some delicious pizza for dinner, which is so exciting. Little Kobe hasn't left my side. Our first day together on the property, we got right into it and it felt so rewarding. The house is back there. And that is our view. The landlord's caravan and our water tank, so we can actually use that, which is awesome. And this is supposed to be our driveway. The first jobs were tough. From moving spiky hakea trees to pulling bracken and giving the place a really good cleanup. But luckily we enjoyed being outdoors together. Here and you're putting me to work.
Yeah.
6 months here, all you do is pile it up, I come over, do all the hard lifting.
You're my teammate. We do this together.
Well, let's do this together because I can't lift it.
It's alright.
As we moved between the places on the homestead, we began imagining all that we wanted to do. And now that we're 4 years down the line, it's always crazy to look back at how bare the property really was. Whoa! Careful. So I'm about to pick some rosemary, but I can smell oregano, and I think that might be it. This may or may not be a garden. We're still yet to decide. Sam has prepared it so that it can be used as a garden. I was able to smell out some mint, so I tried to transplant it into some of the dirt and some of the oregano as well. So fingers crossed they'll continue to grow and live, because I freaking love mint, and I love any plant that grows itself voluntarily, like oregano, mint, rosemary, all of that amazing perennial things. Hey, look, there's another one. 2021 is really going to be the year to start everything that we've wanted to do and everything we've been holding off on. Our landlord here is fantastic and is really open to us improving the land, to us having livestock, and I can see that our landlord loved birds before us. I really want to keep encouraging the native species, the wallabies, the wombats, the birds, to keep coming back and to feel safe. Not for you, silly. Oh my gosh, Eris, it's for birds. So this morning we're starting pretty slow. I'm trying to get one task done at a time. One of our favourite things was our beautiful forest track, which the dogs and I walked every morning. But though relaxing was nice, it wouldn't be long before we started really getting the homestead thriving. Excuse me. Let's get the little ladies who have been so patient. Hello. Here's baby chick number 1. She's like, what are you doing to me? There you go, darling. The chickens really started it all. Once they were on the property, the first gardens came next. There was lots of old building materials and scraps on the property, so we made sure to make good use of it all.
Yep.
So Three Sisters Garden has 3 types of plants. It's got your corn, it has a squash, so that can be cucumbers or pumpkins. With the garden under control, we got even more chickens because, well, chicken maths. These 3 pullets became some of our channel's most iconic faces, but I'm sure you'll see more of that soon. Strong, eliminated. These guys are getting too confident. Masha! Why is it always you? Get out! Masha, out! Neither Sam nor I ever grew vegetables or looked after animals like this before, so everything we did was an experiment, everything we did was a learning curve. Having this lack of knowledge and experience really did make every new moment so exciting. This is huge. Wow. And I I know Sam would agree with me when I say this, that this is where we want to work hard. This is where we want to spend all our time, our money, our efforts, because even though it's hard work, physically, it's so rewarding.
We both started learning our boundaries and speaking up when we were tired. We also learnt to work to our strengths. Slowly, with each new project or task done, the place was growing in personality and becoming our own. Each day was filled with antics and laughter from one of the many creatures we serve.
Not a chicken! What are you doing?
But that didn't stop the sadness we felt being so far away from family and friends in Victoria.
Not having my friends and my family right here with me to talk to and to be with, and just to go out for a coffee in person. It's been tough. People tell you that moving away from your friends, your family, moving into state or overseas is really, really tough, but I think you laugh it off and you think it's going to be okay. And you think you'll get through it because you're a strong person and you're okay being by yourself. But at the end of the day, it's hard. It's lonely.
Something's been eating my cucumber plant.
So as you can see with our first garden, it is absolutely thriving.
I continued to busy myself with tasks and slowly began to find you guys, our little Aussie community, who kept me feeling like I wasn't alone.
Get out of the suburbs, move to the country. It's the only way to grow anything.
No, it's fine. Stay in the cities. So how does it make you feel waking up every morning and seeing so much green in your garden?
It's so nice. I was actually saying that I start every single morning out here, and it's so peaceful just hearing nothing but birds around me and the wind, and sometimes it's raining, and I don't know, there's nothing better than so much abundance out here. Yeah, feels good.
I also started connecting with other locals doing similar things, and so my mood was lifted and we kept plodding along, expanding slowly.
We just picked up the newest member of our flock, a man worthy of the ladies, and he is massive. I can't wait to show you. We're just heading down another beautiful road.
There was so much we didn't know back then, but we learnt with all of you and with the experience.
Ladies! Oh, excuse me. It's not what you're supposed to do. We're just chasing them. What the hell?
As autumn approached, we fell in love with collecting firewood. We only ever used trees that had already fallen, which felt great as it meant we were also cleaning up for potential bushfires. During our downtime, we made the most of exploring the beautiful coasts and places around us, a very well-deserved rest.
And just like that, we have fire.
A lot of things we had to do to the homestead had to be temporary, but some things we added ended up staying due to their usefulness, like this gate which kept our dogs off the roads.
Thanks for demonstrating dogs. Go on, Eris, up. Kobe, up. Go home. Eris, go home. This one has amazing roots. So just pop him in there. Some bay leaves for the top.
As harvest season came upon us, we finally got to enjoy the fruits of our labours, and it was definitely worth all the effort and time put in. I remember sitting down to each meal and celebrating every element that came from our gardens. As I mentioned before, it didn't matter if something was small or not quite right, as each thing we did was a trial and our first time.
Wow, life's an experiment, and if we don't try, we don't learn.
I know we made many mistakes and sometimes went the long way about things, but I think it was necessary for our growth and our understanding of how some systems are better than others. As more of our tasks became routine, we knew it was time to take the next step forward, perhaps sometime sooner than was reasonable.
And then I was like, you know what? They're $100. I'm an adult. We're getting pigs. It's my choice. So we're getting pigs.
Poor Sam came back after a week of camping with no reception to the news that we had pigs arriving onto our unprepared homestead in only 2 weeks. And being the legend that he is, he got right to work getting everything ready, including building their shelter from scratch out of reclaimed pellets.
Pigs are coming a few days early. They're actually coming tomorrow.
With all the excitement on the homestead, there was still plenty of jobs we would have preferred not to do, but they had to be done to maintain things. Our method for getting through these types of jobs was to think of them as fun tasks and enjoy the downtime in between. Before long, the time to pick up our pigs came around, and this is honestly one of our highlights of the first homestead.
I think just fell on me. Yep. Come on, buddy. Chill out.
I still laugh and love every moment we shared with our pigs, Tonkotsu and Kotlietka. Homesteading in those first few years was filled with so many experiments and self-learning. Some worked better than others.
That's really loud and really scary.
We were fortunate to build great connections and relationships with those around us, so when we needed help, we often had someone to turn to.
Pigs, pig.
We knew we wanted to have our pigs on pasture and temporary fencing, and therefore we needed to train them not only to be comfortable with us, but also to follow a bucket of food to make it easier to keep them in and get them if they get out.
Pig. Look, pig, pig, pig. 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 Good job, boys. There you go. Good job. Good job. Now I got some little chicken wing. Yummy.
Homesteading became our normal, and we genuinely had fun doing these tasks for ourselves, laughing and dancing along the way and sharing it with our friends and family when they visited.
Pig, pig, pig. Pig, pig, pig. Always on their heads.
We used easy methods like tarping new gardens and using our animals to dig and fertilise to save us the hard work where we didn't need to use it.
They've been in there for a couple of weeks and they've just turned the wood chips and straw into just like matter. You know, like it's, once we take the roof off this and add water, it's just gonna start composting, and then we've got, like you can see up in that back corner, the wood chips are up to here. Very excited that we get to reutilize their shelter.
The beauty in the temporary structures built by hand is that once we no longer needed a structure, we could repurpose it into something new.
Squeaky pig. Squeaky pig. No.
Pig, pig, pig. Come on. Pig, pig, pig. Pig, pig, pig. Good boys. Come on. Pig, pig, pig. Pig, pig, pig. Good job. Well done. Good boys. It smells good, like there's just such an earthy smell to it.
This is going to be the best soil that we've ever had.
Pig, pig. Pig, pig, pig.
With the warmer weather ahead of us, we wanted to try hatch some of our own eggs. So we built an incubator and began the slow 21-day wait.
Taking my pigs for a stroll. Pig, pig, pig. Pig, pig.
While the chooks prepared one garden bed, the pigs got to work preparing 7. Even while small, the gardens gave plenty of harvest.
Whoa, there's like things moving in there. Can you see that?
Of course, we still needed to put some work into the garden beds. The animals couldn't do it all.
Sharp.
Oh, it's so warm in there.
Decided with this trellis to go for a bit more of an organic, kind of wonky, imperfect kind of look, because you know what? Nothing that we do is really quite perfect, and we like it. It's way more fun that way. There's way less pressure for everything to be straight, symmetrical, and rectangular, while this gives it so much more character.
Yeah, no.
Alright man, 86.
Done.
They actually don't mind it as much anymore, do they?
We tried to keep things as chemical free and natural on our property as we could, from the food we ate to the care we gave our gardens and animals.
So no. These hard workers, we haven't even put their coop down yet, and they're already getting to work on the exact spot we want them to. So you can see they want to be here. Compost pile is all built and stacked, and I'll be watering it and keeping an eye on it. See, this is the part I'm worried about. Oh my god.
The chickens helped us spread the compost and pig manure, eating any larvae or undesirable bugs, all in preparation for the new garden beds. With summer on its way, slow burns of all the eucalyptus leaf matter was important around the house.
When I add more matter, it doesn't flare up. It almost puts the fire out. So if I ever feel like it's getting too large, I just smother it with more fuel.
That's where all the eggs are.
2, 4, 12, 14, 22, 24. I could have filled the incubator full if only I got all these eggs.
And then just straight along that line. It's like clipping toenails. You can see she's not in any pain or anything.
My carrots.
Whoa! Whoa!
And those are all my carrots.
One of the main reasons we wanted the pigs was to help us root up all these tea tree plants growing on the driveway. We loved reclaiming old logs and offcuts into beautiful new places on the property, like this bench overlooking my garden, which got a lot of use. Even though this property wasn't going to be ours forever, we still planted fruit trees and tended to them like it was. This is all practice, and if it means we leave it better than it started, then that's more rewarding for us.
Well, there's another spot down there. He just wants that one. Oh, he's so cute. Stop. Honestly, these have been so delicious as a garden snack, they haven't even made it home yet.
When we finally got to build our new garden beds, it was an exciting time. We used black wattle logs cleared from our driveway and thinner branches as stakes. Fresh compost was added and plenty of wood chips to keep the moisture in. Overnight, we got our meat chook delivery. As the pandemic was still a very real problem in the world, this was a tricky process and took a lot of calls to get them down to us.
Oh my goodness, it's a little!
Wow, they're already big. Like, they're long. They're much longer than the other chicks were. Oh my god.
With all the animal additions, the homestead was really alive and thriving.
Ever wonder what it looks like in here first thing in the morning? Check it out. Covered in poo. Water filled with wood chips and little cute baby chicks.
So I know I've been saying I want to get bees, but it looks like the bees have decided they want to get us. We have a whole swarm in our garden right now.
The warmer spring weather came around and the bees in the area began swarming. This got us so excited and ready to get our own bees, so we waited patiently for a swarm to become available. Meanwhile, the weather had other plans, with some of the biggest rainfalls we had recorded in the area. The hail and flooding events were numerous.
It's really here, guys. Come on, everyone out. Come on.
On the warmer days, we continued preparing the beds and actually had our pigs butchered, so we're able to fill our freezers full of homegrown organic pork. With our pig journey lovingly behind us, we looked forward to welcoming some new animals to the homestead and visited another beautiful family and farm in the area.
We love using pellets, don't we?
Oh, that was the best.
Hey, there we go. Sheep. Yay. Sheeps? Sheep.
I loved my daily meat chook chores. We had a great first batch with only 2 casualties, and each morning I felt immense love from these little feathered monsters.
Definitely getting more confident, and they are certainly the bigger ones out of the lot.
Finally, a swarm became available in our area, so we zipped off to get it. And luckily, the people who we were getting the bees off had a neighbour who knew what they were doing, because I certainly did not. My confidence grew each time I looked after the bees though, and I was fortunate to have a beautiful, calm first hive and plenty of support. The sheep getting out was something we knew would be inevitable, but were ignorant to, because so far our system worked pretty well.
They are pouring out.
Our bees settled in, and as the hive grew in numbers, they swarmed and we were able to catch our second hive. That summer, I decided to invest $500 into planting out an Australian native food forest. Learning about the varieties and their uses and flavours was so exciting and so rewarding.
Hi.
The harvests were plentiful, and processing our meat birds when time came was bittersweet. But mostly sweet, knowing we had accomplished what we set out to do and would have a freezer full of our own fresh, homegrown, happy meat. The warmth and plethora of flowers meant our bees swarmed again, and this time I felt confident enough to help a neighbour catch them.
Feel powerful?
That's one thing I really love about homesteading. It doesn't take long to get to a place of abundance, and your heart feels even fuller sharing it with others.
Awesome. Just bring it down.
The new season brought new challenges, including strong winds and rains, but still the gardens were thriving. The second year, I invested more time and space into flowers for my bees, as well as the beauty they brought the garden. Like the pigs, once the sheep got used to us and their routine, they became just as easy to look after.
Tell me we have a favourite without telling me we have a favourite. She's the rooster's favourites, and today they were just that little bit more rough than usual. So we've turned her into our porch chicken.
Our hill has a lot of wombats with mange, so it was cool to experience the process of trying to help treat the wombats with the smite, because it's not just the introduced animal that we wanted to care for on our land.
sure when it's going to turn orange, but right now it is just growing and growing and growing.
Another iconic chook that joined our homestead in the second year was Pigeon. She later went on to hatch out majority of our flock and lived most of her days at the top of our trees.
Come here.
Though Eris and I had no experience herding animals, we tried our best and some days he was quite helpful.
Down. Down.
We were feeling confident with our sheep and wanting to take the next step in expanding our flock and working towards raising lambs for meat.
Here it comes.
Look, Kai. Look.
With all the highs of the homestead, there were also still many lows. Our rooster started becoming aggressive and we had lost one of our favourite chooks.
Yeah, I am absolutely petrified.
That summer, I got to practice some new skills, from fermenting and canning to harvesting my own honey.
Let's go. Wow. Oh my gosh.
I loved the rains we were getting over the second summer. It meant my pumpkins grew huge, which was perfect as I was making our own dog food and also roasting plenty of pumpkins. Whenever we had time, we improved the gardens and spaces. Even if they were small jobs, they all added up to big changes. Weeding, mulching, protecting, sowing, harvesting, preserving, maintaining, thinning, the jobs never ended. Some we liked and others we tolerated for the greater good. Soon summer was wrapping up and we experimented with fire pits, smokers and growing our own mushrooms. All of these with great success.
Look at that! Hey!
How good?
Oh my god. It's so insane. This bucket's too small.
Hello. Hey, where's Kai's horn? You okay, buddy? Your little head.
If we open it up. See, look at this guy.
Some days we loved homesteading and all the multitudes of tasks and projects, and other days it felt never ending. We balanced jobs and shared them where we could, but to say it was always easy or enjoyable was just not the case. Still, we reminded ourselves why we were doing it and what life would be like without it. Even in our second year, we still felt like we were learning. There was a lot that we could share, and still so much we knew we didn't know. We were faced with bugs and critters while growing our veggies organically and using the resources of the land over buying things new. Our efforts did not go unnoticed though. I was so grateful for the catalogue of videos we were saving and sharing, as it meant we could look back on the bad days and be reminded of just how far our homestead had come.
Wow. There's some power in those. What's that strange animal doing on our property, Di?
We got a puppy.
You got a puppy.
He came out by himself. He followed us out.
Nice.
Get out of here, Squirt.
We got some more ewes for the homestead after losing our ewe Alfie, but unlike our original sheep, these three were farm sheep that were used to grazing and were fairly wild and unhandled. We learned quickly and brutally what that means. Before we knew it, it was coming to the end of the second year on our homestead, and it was time for our greatest project yet. We loved homesteading, but we definitely felt the insecurity of being on someone else's land, and also not having our own home. So we decided to test our skills in a whole new light and begin the mammoth task of converting a giant bus into a tiny home. We had no idea what we were about to get ourselves into or the overwhelm that would follow. Another big project I started was my podcast Earthly Roots with Robin from the Nature Patch. We had so much fun visiting each other, filming and recording our chats talking about gardening, homesteading and all things rural living. We have connected with so many incredible like-minded individuals both in the area and further away, and each one has fulfilled us, taught us and made us feel normal for living what might otherwise be considered an unconventional life. Gardening with friends, whether old or new, quickly became one of my favourite activities. The laughter and stories that were shared made each task fly by. It won't be long now before the bus makes her epic return back to the hill and we start homesteading a new plot of land. We hope that you're just as excited as we are for this new adventure. If the achievements of the first homestead are anything to go by, it's going to be an epic few years. But anyways, let's return back to the past. As you can see, we got straight into ripping apart the bus so we could build it from scratch. Just like the homestead, there was a lot of hard work, learning, and plenty of self-doubt as we took on this new challenge. Of course, the homestead was also still very much a real part of our everyday life, and our new challenge also meant finding the balance between an already full workload and escaping sheep.
Trying to get them back in, but yeah, this went right into the night. 7 times, I'm telling you guys, I'm not over exaggerating. Oh, oops.
Even though our focus needed to start shifting to building our bus, there was still a lot of planning and research in the background. So we were able to continue planting, growing, and raising our next lot of new chickens.
It's happening! It's happening!
We also had our first mammal born on the property, as our ewe finally had her first baby. I mean, 2.
Oh, everyone's like, what's this? Wow! You gotta share.
The firstborn was a boy and the secondborn was a girl. We were really excited to see twins.
If you haven't gathered yet, we're the types of people that take on opportunities when they arise. So when I heard of geese needing to be rehomed, of course I put my hand up. We desperately needed the help in maintaining our lawns and just found them to be really beautiful, interesting creatures.
I have a lot to learn about them, but they're going to be a welcome addition to the property. I'm not gonna lie, I was quite intimidated. I'd never handled geese before. Unfortunately, mistakes are inevitable when you're in the deep end.
Eris loves watching them eat chickens. He gets obsessed.
Unfortunately, as the sheep kept escaping, they went further and further down the hill, until one day we found that they had rejoined their old flock and abandoned us, twins and all. Luckily, the boys stayed behind, but it wasn't without complications. They had both ventured into tick-infested long grass, and it was a battle trying to heal them. The loss of our sheep was devastating, but I think it was well needed, and as our focus shifted on slowing down on the homestead and spending more time preparing and researching the bus build, we brought you all inside to share more of our home life and cooking. I fell in love with making sourdough and learning family favourites, as well as making more of our staples, like pasta, crackers, and anything I could learn.
Lovely.
Even though we were meant to be slowing down, we still got new animals, but chickens don't really count, right?
So
We struggled to make the shift from homesteading to building a home, and so we enlisted any friends that we could to come over and help us to lessen the burden and share the load. It's not always comfortable asking for help, but it became necessary as our workload was just getting too intense.
I don't even know what to say.
This week I hung up my garlic and I love where it ended up. It looks so great.
Summer and the festive season came, and we knew this was the time to really get the bus build going. I have a whole series of the build on our channel, and I made a similar video to this of the process from start to finish. So I have decided to focus on my final summer garden instead of the bus build as we started wrapping things up on the homestead. My summer was filled with experiments, some good and some bad, but all of them a lot of fun in between working and helping out on the bus. I look back at it all now and wonder how on earth I had the energy and time to do so much. But you all kept me motivated and excited to learn, and so somehow I found the time. The last summer garden was so abundant, even though the weather was much drier than it had been the last 2 years. This is more likely what is normal for the area, so I'm glad I got to experience both sides.
My god. And these are supposed to be pickled cucumbers, so I'm gonna have to cut them and turn them into like sliced pickles.
Once again, Pigeon went missing and hatched out even more baby chicks. I told you earlier, she really made a name for herself. When Mama felt ready, she brought her little bubs over to meet us and get some food, and we were able to put them all in a safer place to protect them from predators.
May I hold your fluffies?
Even though I never got to try the fruit of the trees we planted on the property, we were still able to forage amazing summer fruits from our neighbours and even wild trees growing by the road. That summer we harvested pears, apples, peaches and blackberries. The end of summer came around quickly and it was time to start packing down my bees, rendering their wax and collecting firewood for our last winter on the homestead. The homestead slowing down also meant cooler days that could be dedicated to building out the bus, so was very needed after a very busy summer. Come on.
Are you coming, Eris? Come on, you duck. Come on.
My garden is definitely looking a bit, wild and untamed. The dogs love coming here with me.
Oi, don't pee there. Boys!
Of course, you didn't think that meant we did absolutely no gardening, right? Of course, I still planted out my flower bulbs and garlic and potatoes and whatever else was in season. I knew I would likely not get to harvest these, but I knew there was also a chance that I might get to see some of it before we left. It also made me feel better knowing that the next people to move onto the land might just find the treasures I left behind for them.
So it's okay. It's not huge, but there's one next to it.
We repurposed a lot of the wooden resources from our homestead structures into our bus build.
Offspring who has grown up and like her mother laid a nest of eggs to hatch.
We also made the decision to rehome all of our animals as they're getting out of where they should be and into places they shouldn't be was starting to cause more stress than we could handle. The cool thing is that a lot of our animals actually ended up going to neighbours or even subscribers to the channel, so it felt like giving them to family.
No. They were such good bees.
Yeah. So empty. We made the most of our last few months on the property, savouring all we had learnt and done, and were very excited to live in our converted bus as we travelled to see friends and family throughout New South Wales and Victoria. We tried keeping what we could from the homestead, like these herbs.
They can survive inside, right?
I began cleaning up the homestead of all the dead trees and leaf mulch.
every Sunday to come out here and burn a few things that need to be burnt. Preparation for bushfire season is so important around here.
I harvested the last of the lemons too, which were a pleasure to have and share with the neighbours. It's funny that even though we were wrapping things up, there were still new animals and things to see. This time though, it was our neighbours' animals rather than our own.
Absolutely decimated everything, including the rhubarb.
As I began removing the fencing from my gardens, the native wildlife came and ate most of the things in my garden. Somehow though, I still managed to save a couple of things and replant others because, as I said, I wanted to leave the gardens beautiful and I still had plenty of saved seeds that I could plant.
So my basil is doing well. Yay. I have to watch these zucchini so carefully because they keep growing too big. I don't necessarily mind because the big ones are great for dog food.
And bounce back it certainly did. When spring came around, we had plenty of veggies and also crazy amounts of lawn.
We are moving off the homestead, and at the moment, my gardens are both terrifying but also there is plenty of beauty and things to discover. From young tomato plants and tomatoes themselves to corn to beans, even the feijoa plant that I resurrected 3 years ago is swimming in flowers, which will soon be in fruit. The bees have been busy between all the rains, and all this beauty, even through the weeds, is making me miss my gardens already. So many of these herbs and seeds were gifted to me from friends or planted from volunteers. There has been so much learning in this garden, and I'm so grateful for every moment.
And so I leave you with this, the last page of our first chapter. The first homestead was the best place we could have asked for to start our new lifestyle and grow into the people that we are today.
I'm grateful for all of the lessons, but I'm definitely ready to let go of the hard work that this has taken to get to where it is now.
We cannot wait to return to a new spot on the same hill and cultivate a homestead with all the knowledge and experience that we've gained. Not just from doing it ourselves, but also spending the year that follows this, visiting other people's farms and homesteads and learning from them.
Fresh from a chicken farm.
Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video, which greatly supports our channel and grows our community. And we will see you here very soon with new videos and projects on our second homestead. Thanks, my friends.